My podcast, it's called Fruitloops, Serial Killers of Color, and it's about serial killers of color and the victims. And that's it. And I host it with my friend, Beth. Beth and I have never recorded in person. We've been doing the podcast since 2018, and it's always been remote. We use some online software to do it, Zencastr, and it's worked pretty well for us throughout our podcasting career together. So,
is it always just the two of you on the show?
Sometimes. I mean, we have had guests. Like, we interviewed a serial killer once. That was pretty cool. We have interviewed victims of violent crime, authors. But yeah, mostly it's just the two of us. We pick a case that maybe you haven't heard about a lot in the news because the victims are either black, brown, gay, poor. And then we research the shit out of it, and then we talk about it. So we talk about some really brutal, terrible, violent stuff. We find that it is important to insert humor into the storytelling, and we have to do that because if we didn't, we would be crying the entire time because it is really awful. So we do try to bring some levity. I mean, Fruit Loops, the name of the show, is kind of a play on words, but it's also like we don't take ourselves too seriously. We're not experts on crime or psychology. We're just really fascinated by it. And so when we are using humor, when talking about really awful stuff, we try to also be mindful of, respecting the victims and stuff like that. But again, it's such brutal stuff that you have to insert humor into it. And most of our humor is like self-deprecating stuff, like Wendy screwed something up, which I do a lot. So just little things like that. But we're never attacking or blaming any of the victims. That's for sure something we don't like to do. Yeah. So everybody wants to grow an audience. We have grown ours completely organically. First of all, we didn't tell anybody that we were launching a show. We just did it. And the growth has been completely organic. And what we've done since the beginning to grow our audience is love on them like hard. So any feedback we get, we respond right away. We're thankful. Another thing we do for our audience is people who either become Patreon supporters or give us a Cash App donation. We give them personalized shout outs. We send handwritten thank you cards. We're just loving on our audience, and I think that they feel connected to us, and they've been telling other people about us. So word of mouth has also been really helpful in growing our audience as well.
Like growing and engagement, do you feel like those are tied?
Yeah, growing and engagement are definitely tied together, and we hardcore engage with our audience. And not only are we reaching out to them on social media, responding to emails and tweets, but we invite them to record with us, every month. So
where you're heading tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're going to New York City, NYC. So Beth and I, we were contacted by Apple Podcasts, and they are planning on featuring us on their platform, and they're flying us out for this fabulous photo shoot. Oh my God, they're giving us a per diem on food. Anyway, and they're giving us they're gonna drive us in those fancy cars with leather seats and stuff. Anyway, so we are going to NYC for a photo shoot and some social media post filming stuff. And Apple Podcasts invited us, and we're really, really excited. So, yeah. My name's Wendy, and I am the co-host of the podcast Fruitloops, Serial Killers of Color, and I would love it if you would listen.